Today we are going to talk about what happened to the founder of Juicero, Dog Evans, after the company was shut down. But first, some context. Dog Evans is famous for creating a company called Juicero. Juicero used to be a startup that sold $400 juicers. The idea was to place a fruit pouch into the juicer and you would have freshly squeezed juice at your home. The problem was the juicer was too expensive. Not only was using Juicero's juicers complicated, the business model didn't make any sense. Many users of Juicero found out that they could just squeeze the juice out of the pouches without using the machine at all, and you would still get the same amount of juice squeezed by hand. The pouches of freshly sliced fruits and vegetables were also expensive. They also had a very short expiry date. You had to scan the QR code of the bag with the Wi-Fi on before you could get the Juicero machine to work. If the fruit pouch was past the expiry date, which was roughly a week or so, the machine just wouldn't squeeze the juice. The fruit pouches were also expensive, costing up to $8 a pouch. People who didn't have a Juicero machine were not allowed to buy them at all. That meant you had to pay $400 for an inefficient machine just to buy an $8 pouch of sliced fruits and vegetables. What's more, the Juicero machine used to cost $700. They had to lower it to $400 because customers complained it was too expensive. The machine was too large. You needed Wi-Fi to use it, and it took a long time to make you your juice. Juicero spent $120 million of VC money on an over-engineered product that failed to take off. Dog Evans justified this expensive juicer machine by saying he believed over time, once economies of scale took over, the price would go down. He likened it to a Tesla or an Apple product. Lackluster sales of Juicero meant they couldn't afford to make the juicers that cost more than $700 to make. Many media companies bashed Juicero's expensive garbage of a machine.
So I don't mean to be rude about it, but this is just pretty much everything wrong with Silicon Valley design today. It's a solution for rich people that's worse than the problem.
What's up everybody, it's Critical. It's not often that a product just infuriates me, but there's a new product now that I feel nothing but hatred towards. It's called the Juicero, and it's the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. It's a $400 juicer is what it's claiming, but all it does is it fucking smashes a pre-packaged thing of juice into a cup. But that's not even
The internet joined in, poking fun at the overly complex machine. The negative PR drove many supporters of Juicero to turn their back on the juicer. The founder of Juicero, Dog Evans, was forced to step down. Jeff Dunn took over the company as CEO so he could fix the founder's mistakes, but it was too late. The damage had been done and the company would eventually shut down. So what happened to Dog Evans, the founder of Juicero, after the downfall? On a trip to Burning Man, Dog Evans shared an RV with a fire dancer called Vatra, who introduced him to spring water. This sparked Dog's interest in untreated spring water. Dog promoted drinking raw water years ago for its health benefits. Live Water, the brand Dog likes, sells its untreated spring water for $6 a gallon. However, some doctors warn it could be a health risk. Drinking untreated water can lead to typhoid, cholera, and possibly death. Vice did a piece showing how Dog promoted drinking raw water half a decade ago. Since then, Dog has started a rental business called Wonder Valley Hot Springs. Dog went to Joshua Tree looking for hot springs. While there were some springs, he didn't like where they were. He hated the locations of the hot springs so much, he bought land at roughly half an hour's drive away from the center of Joshua Tree. He then hired a team of geologists and experts to go prospecting for hot springs. They found some and drilled a well to reach the hot springs. Dog Evans started his Wonder Valley Hot Springs there. Initially, Dog invited visitors to rent a room in that one property he owned. Guests would come and soak in a granite soaking tub filled with water from the hot springs. They loved it. Time went on, more visitors came to Dog's little oasis in the desert, and business boomed. You can rent some houses on Airbnb if you want to stay there. When Dog Evans isn't working on his property, he's tinkering in his sprout lab, trying to turn sprouts into the next new food fad for the human race. In his evangelical crusade, Get more people eating sprouts, Dog released the Sprouts book. Dog fell in love with sprouts because of their simplicity. You could grow an almost unlimited supply of fresh sprouts for almost no cost. He bought several sprout jars for cheap and grew them in his garden. After 1 month of eating mostly sprouts for his diet, Dog reached enlightenment. Almost all calories that he had in that month came from sprouts. It blew his mind. Sprouts might be a replacement for popcorn. While many might think the Juicero founder is experiencing a fever trip after eating so many sprouts, or maybe he's getting PTSD from his fall from grace at Juicero, that's not true. Dog's love for sprouts is actually consistent with what he was doing before he started Juicero. Before Juicero, Dog Evans was and still is a vegan. That was the precursor for co-founding Organic Avenue, a shop which sold bottles of juice for $10 together with other high-quality organic foods. Customers were willing to pay a premium for their fresh juices and Organic Avenue cleansers, which meant eating organic non-processed foods bought from the store Dog Evans owned. Within a couple of years, Organic Avenue became a chain of stores with celebrities like Gwyneth Paltrow endorsing them. Vogue magazine gave the stores glowing reviews. In fact, the reason Dog started Juicero was because he wanted to taste fresh juices like the ones he made at Organic Avenue, but he couldn't find any juices at Home Depot that met his specifications, which then led to the birth of Juicero. The idea was to mimic the espresso machine's business model. Sell the machine at a loss and get the money back through the sale of espresso pods, or in Juicero's case, packets of fruit pulp, a venture we all know failed miserably. While he still has some misgivings about how he was ousted from Juicero, Dog Evans is still doing well for himself these days with his Hot Springs venture. He has many followers and fans of his book on sprouts, and they truly believe in his sprout revolution. I hope you liked the video, leave a like if you did, and subscribe if you haven't already. It's much appreciated.